Teen Titans Go to the movies. Ah yes, never has an animated series received so much hate and backlash in recent years more than Teen Titans Go, the comedic reboot to the 2003 animated series based on the DC Comics. However, as the show would continue to air on Cartoon Network over the years, the more that it would become unbearably toxic. Now hold it, I'm not talking about the show itself. I mean the hate on the show. The hatedom of Teen Titans Go has gotten so bad that the haters have become quite infamous for going on social media and go as far as attacking and harassing not only those who have worked on the show, but to anyone who would express an opinion about it that is not absolutely negative. Not only does it make those haters look bad, but it also sheds a damaging light towards the cartoon community, ultimately becoming a toxic environment that always explodes in a raging fit every time a new animated reboot gets revealed. Now, listen, I'm a film critic. My job here is not to please people by saying things that they want to hear so that they can boost their ego and feel good about their own bias. I'm not the type that's just gonna immediately call it the Emoji Movie 2 by looking at the title alone and make a clickbait video about it. I've never seen a single episode of Teen Titans Go, so I'm entering in with a clear mind as a newcomer to the series and judge the film on its own merits. So what I'm trying to say is, screw the haters, and I'm just gonna do my job to express my thoughts on the film regardless if it's positive or negative. So, now that the Titans are hitting the big screen, will Robin get his chance to make the same cinematic impact as Batman? Or will it show a good reason why the Teen Titans should just stick to television? Let's find out. The story. Okay, so we got a Teen Titans Go movie. Does it mean we'll be seeing a bunch of goofball superheroes mostly dancing around and making dumb jokes instead of actually doing superhero work? Technically, yes. In fact, that's actually the point this movie is trying to make. The film is very self-aware about what this series is and its tone so that it could utilize it to the story's advantage. You see, the entire goal of the story is for the Titans to prove themselves and all the other big DC stars that they are legitimate superheroes and not just a bunch of funny little sidekicks. And the best way to demonstrate it is to have their own major motion picture. The best thing to credit about this feature is that the effort is actually prominent that the filmmakers were trying to craft a movie and not just drag an episode to 90 minutes. Sure, the story itself of Robin's pursuit of having his own movie may be a little unoriginal and it wouldn't be too hard to predict some of the outcomes, but thankfully, the heart of the feature does help it to be engaging and to root for the Titans along their way. However, the movie doesn't try to just be a Teen Titans Go film. At the same time, it also wants to be an entire superhero satire, much like in the veins of Deadpool, but of course in a more family-friendly environment.
Deadpool? What? I'm not Deadpool.
I thought Deadpool was a good guy.
Why does everybody think I'm Deadpool?
You got them guns!
And the swords.
Yeah, well, lots of people have guns and swords, okay? On the way here, I passed like 25 people with guns and swords.
It does not hold back on making fun of not just the modern DC films, but also the entire superhero genre, Marvel, the current film industry, the individual superheroes, and a bit of themselves. And you know what? A lot of them actually work. Rather, if you're a total comics fan or someone who likes to watch some of the movies, there will be some unexpected jokes that will pack a good punch. So overall, this is a film that really does try to be a lot of things at the same time. It tries to be a Teen Titans Go movie, a superhero satire, a superhero movie, a movie about movies, a family comedy, and more. Yet unlike most films that try to do plenty, it knows how to balance all of these at once, and that's probably the most admirable thing coming from this feature. The story knows what it wants to do and knows what it wants to be and manages to pursue it all to become just that. The animation. Well, I've been nice to it with the story, but I'll have to change that attitude for the animation. As a feature-length motion picture, it's no secret that this looks subpar. Yes, I understand that this is directly from an animated series on TV, but television animation should never be mistaken for feature quality. The result that happens here is with very stiff and flat-looking characters whose movements are straight out of Adobe Animate and leave little to the imagination. Not to mention the simplified character designs that strip them to the bare bones, where now they're mostly just shapes and colors with huge eyes. It can try to compensate the simple cartoony look with its vast use of bright colors, but doesn't do much to hold it back from being possibly one of the weaker looking animated films of the year.
What do you mean by that?
Well, you know, they only make movies about real heroes.
I am a real hero. I even have my own superhero team.
Okay, now that I've got all that out of my system, would there be any way for this movie to redeem itself visually? Actually, yes. Sure, the materials given to the film are a hot mess. The designs are crap, the movements are cheap, and it has a budget of around $10 million. What it does have at its disposal is a team of animators capable of doing the best they can with these materials. Their talents are prominent on the screen to make the film feel as big as ever, and do whatever they can to make the Titans be entertaining, funny, and action-packed. Possibly the biggest highlights are the moments where the animators would play around with different art styles, letting them go in different directions they wouldn't have before, and even boost up its quality. However, as a superhero film, it was a surprise to see how the action scenes are quite engaging, using the Titans' powers at their full potential to fight off villains like Slade, and make the movie a little more fun than it already is. On a technical level, Teen Titans Go is unacceptable for the big screen, but at least the team made the most out of its animation. The characters. What good is a superhero film if you can't enjoy the superheroes themselves? The characters are what root this film to the series. Why this is a Teen Titans Go movie, and they still are capable of showing off a bit of new tricks for their big screen debut. Let's start off with the leader of the pack and the true star of this movie, Robin. Fueled by wanting to be a real superhero, Robin is dead set to have a Teen Titans movie like his DC counterparts, and tries any strategy he can in order to achieve it, including making an arch nemesis out of Slade. However, he is also the type that can easily get carried away, where he could be so focused that he would end up forgetting what's most important. As for his friends, Starfire, Cyborg, Beast Boy, and Raven, they do present a little of their own personalities to separate themselves from one another, but they mostly work as a unit as Robin's friends to cause some extra mischief wherever they go and never hold back their goofy side to joke around. And then you have Slade, the movie's villain with the power of mind manipulation. Obviously a lot different than his previous interpretations, this Slade is more cynical, and his powers are more used to take advantage of the Titans' stupidity. However, his manipulations can be quite real, and the movie does later show how he would be a worthwhile foe with some legitimate threat. As for the rest, there are plenty of recognizable DC superheroes, both well-known and obscure, but their role is generally to play the ones that did make it, the people who have already achieved what the Titans dream of getting, yet they can't help them. They don't have any mean personalities or anything, but only a small amount of time to either present their powers or to make a little joke at their own expense. One can argue that they could be categorized as tropes. Not the first time you see these types of characters roaming around in a movie, and maybe some should have had a bigger role than what they've ended up. But luckily, the characters are enjoyable enough to make the most out of the writing, and help shape the movie to have its own identity. As Warner Brothers continue to struggle to fully develop their own superhero cinematic universe with the DC characters, they're somehow finding better success when they make their heroes animated, even when they take them to a place like Teen Titans Go. Not sure if that says more about this movie or the DC universe. Teen Titans Go to the Movies is a pleasant surprise that brings the TV show and bursts it into a complete satire that both celebrates and makes fun of what we love from current superhero flicks. Maybe it's not the most original movie out there, and the animation quality doesn't stray far from how it is on television, but thanks to its witty and clever writing, animators that gave their all with the little materials that they have, and characters that bring out the fun of the feature, it easily makes it the most lightheartedly amusing DC films in recent years. No surprise that fans of the series will love the film, but even non-fans will find some enjoyment as well. As long as you have a basic knowledge of how modern superhero films work, you should be good to go and have a fun time with this. Oh right, the short! Yes, before the film would begin, there would be an animated short called The Late Gatsby, which was pretty decent, but obvious that it was made to be a little pilot for the DC Superhero Girls series. But still, it was a nice little appetizer before we get to the main course with the Titans. Looks like we can finally have a moment where we can associate Teen Titans Go with good quality entertainment.
Titans. If you keep playing the fool, you'll never be seen as real heroes, only as jokes.